This video contains 4 short experiments. 3 of them are about inertia and 1 of them is about an apple. Now, I like to think of inertia as the reluctance of an object to change the way it's moving. So massive objects have a big inertia and therefore they're quite difficult to move, change the direction of the motion or stop. So, experiment 1. I've got a beaker and a piece of paper and I'm just going to give the paper a quick tug. And you see the mug barely moves. Why? Well, it's got inertia. There is a force acting between the mug and the paper, a frictional force, but this force is not big enough, nor does it act for long enough to get the mug moving. If I slow it down and pull the mug slowly, then there is enough friction and I'm applying it for a long time, so the mug will indeed move across the table. Now for the second experiment. This involves this little vehicle. Now we usually call these friction-powered cars because you have to apply some frictional force to get them moving, but actually they're not friction-powered at all. They're inertia-powered because we're relying on the inertia of that spinning flywheel to store energy, and so the vehicle will move across the table. Next, 4 blocks of wood, and we've stacked them one on top of the other, and I'm going to give the bottom one a sharp tap with the hammer. Notice the bottom one shot away, but there wasn't enough force acting on the one above it to get it moving, and the 2 above that as well. So the inertia of those blocks meant they stayed more or less where they are, but just dropped to the table. And so what about the apple? Well, I've cut the apple in half and I'm going to use a straw. And if I push on it, it's quite hard to get the straw to go to the apple. It tends to bend a bit. However, if I then apply the force quickly, like yeah, notice it's gone straight through the apple. If I hold it to one side, you can perhaps see the straw sticking through the apple. The force acted on the apple for a very, very short time, a very large force, and enough to drive the straw straight through the apple.